Hello, welcome to another EagleSix Airsoft video. We're testing this Tokumari Ak74Mn. This was a bit of history on these ones. Obviously, they were the first ever Ngrs recall that came out ever, and they actually discontinued them because the first ever one, i.e. this gun here, had terrible sales. At the time, people didn't want to go over to, well, A, it was an AK, but B, they didn't want to go for new style magazines, you know, when all it added really was obviously the recoil system. So it was sort of almost sort of viewed as a gimmick. Obviously then later on they brought out the M4 version with the bolt stop, which is now obviously referred to Generation 2 because they've added to it, so it's not only just got the recoil, it's got the bolt stop as well. And then obviously it was a huge success because obviously the M4 plus obviously it added something extra for the extra money involved in getting the recoils. So yeah, so it's obviously always been a difficult one, the AK. Obviously later on they introduced the Gen 2 AK in the 47 where it added the bolt stop system, but these ones have always been sort of left a little bit by the wayside, the 74 series, because obviously they're still Gen 1, and then eventually when they started getting a lot more sales on them, obviously as NGRS has picked up massively because of those M4s, you know, and then obviously naturally you start to see the other ones sell as well, you know, like G36 and AK from the original Gen 1, which is 2009. So yeah, they start to sell some more, and then obviously yeah, just overall a more successful product. And then obviously they've re-added this, so after it got discontinued as a new product, there's not really anything been changed internally. Obviously it's using the latest manufacturing, you know, stuff from you know, being produced today as opposed to 2009. It's not like old batch or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if obviously they would have redesigned it, you know, to work with the 47 system, but they haven't, so I'm not sure that'll ever happen really, you know. So but like I say, it was a really good product. It's still obviously full metal construction, still very robust, and obviously the look of it is currently extremely trending, you know. So so yeah, it's very cool gun, and I think the recoil has a really good effect to it. Obviously they've got good hop units in them, they shoot really well, so yeah, just a nice option for an AK. Obviously, you know, they do have a price tag to them, so and there are a lot of competition in the AK market, like the LCTs and the ENLs that are obviously offering what one could argue more heavier you know, construction than even a real steel. So yeah, and obviously airsofters do like when things, you know, feel really heavy and stuff, because it makes them feel more real. But yeah, this is obviously a great construction gun. We hope you enjoy it. Obviously we've done a few tweaks on this particular one, so let's continue to bore you with obviously history. So we've done the full build on this one. So we've got the FPS piston head, which we've lightened to 29 grams, and the black carbon piston. We had some issues with this gun on jamming of the piston. It was just traveling just way too quick. Basically we had the Prometheus we had the Warhead motor at high speed, and combined with a 7.4 volt battery, this was hitting close to 19.5 rounds per second on a 7.4. That is just too quick. So for a recoil, I mean, it's just like 11 volt but with a 7.4. so yeah, unfortunately we had to really tone that down. That was causing some issues, and then we had some failed bearings, and we generally don't install them anyway, so that was a mistake in the first place. So so we've upgraded those to 7mm bearings, and like I said, I've just slightly modified the selectors on the side just to be a bit shorter, so hopefully it shouldn't interfere with that. But we'll see how that goes. Worst comes to worst, if they continue to be a problem, we're happy to switch those out in the long term to 7mm bushings. But at the moment, obviously, if you can get bearings in there, it's obviously really cool when you can. So we've got gate Aster V3. Obviously, that's a nice modification for instant trigger response. We've got Prometheus purple hot rubber and flat nub. So the Prometheus purple hot rubber was causing some feeding issues, so unfortunately we've had to switch that out to the TM hop rubber. However, like I say, in design they're really very similar, and we've then installed the flat nub, and that's allowed feeding to happen again, which is brilliant, because obviously that was causing us some headaches, rather than obviously keep delaying the gun trying to get this Prometheus purple hop rubber to feed on an AK. We think it's just physically it's just too fat material for the hop rubber, and it's just too tight, and it's causing to be occasional feeding issue, which is a bit of a headache. So that's now been resolved. We've got the Warhead motor, obviously Prometheus Tightbore barrel, Prometheus Gears, spring guide, like I say, modified piston head, cylinder, like I say, 7mm bearing conversion, and EagleSix spring, obviously FBS piston, you know, the carbon fiber one, and Nuprol cylinder head, because we was out of stock of the Prometheus one. So yeah, hopefully that's all good for you. Like I say, it's a decent build, 340 on .2s at the moment, and ready for range testing just to demonstrate it, so I don't bore you all day. Yeah, I think this is extremely viable. I mean, if they could bring this with a Generation 3, you know, so they put both the MOSFET in there and the bolt stop feature, and then as in discontinue this one and re-release another one, I think it'd be really bang up to date. And obviously, like I say, the shape is still, you know, they bring out the Storms with the modern takes and stuff, but this is still obviously classic AK74Mn. You know, it's not a custom thing, it's a real replica of it, like I say, the shape of the AK74Mn. So yeah, as opposed to like the new gas blowback AK that's come out, which is obviously a variant. There's no sort of real world reference, you know, because it's custom, you know, it's like as if a custom house has made it. So I suppose that gets around certain legal issues potentially, but obviously a big part of TM is the accurate replicas, you know, that are copying real world guns, you know, with real world trades and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to see a new Generation 3 version of this, but we know TM, they will support a gun until the end of time itself, well beyond its state. They just will never call it a day on something and then just say, hey, let's make a new one. They will make the gun, and they will support it with parts for, you know, like I say, till the end of time itself. And sometimes that's obviously to their benefit, in that you can buy a gun and you know that obviously it's going to be produced and supported for a long time. On the other hand, it means that you got to wait a long time for a new iteration, you know, like a long time, like a lifetime. But yeah, it's a cool gun. I'll just carry on demonstrating it. go, all tested. We hope you enjoy. Like I say, a really nice gun. It's really nice to see a few more sales on these. Obviously they're trending at the moment, but yeah, we hope you enjoy. Any problems, let us know. Thank you.